Welcome back to our channel, everyone. Wishing everyone a day filled with the grace of Christ. We hope you enjoy this video and subscribe to this YouTube channel to stay updated with the latest information. Join us on this journey and listen to this video until the very end. Imagine a moment of deep devotion where the quiet solitude of prayer suddenly transforms into a profound encounter. This was the experience of Sister Marta de Cruz, a devout and humble nun, during an evening of contemplative prayer as she recited the Rosary. In this sacred moment, a vision unfolded before her, a vision so vivid that it would forever alter her understanding of faith, the afterlife, and the path of spiritual purity. Sister Marta, dedicated to a life of faith and prayer within her convent walls, was no stranger to moments of spiritual clarity. Yet, on this particular evening, as she prayed with unwavering focus, she sensed a distinct and powerful presence in the room. It felt as though the very air around her had changed, filling with a sense of peace, reverence, and awe. In the midst of her prayers, she became aware of a figure that seemed to shine with a celestial light. It was none other than Pope John Paul Brempoin, clad in a radiant white robe, holding a rosary in one hand and an olive branch in the other. This vision of Pope John Paul was unlike any earthly encounter. He appeared rejuvenated, his countenance youthful and serene, radiating an aura of both profound peace and divine authority. As Sister Marta remained motionless, awestruck by the sight before her, she felt an overwhelming sense of respect and reverence. The vision, so vivid and true, spoke directly to her spirit. With a gentle smile, Pope John Paul I moved closer, and together they began to pray. Their voices, harmonizing in spiritual devotion, seemed to fill the space with a palpable energy. They prayed fervently for the Church, for its strength, and for the protection of the Eucharist, a sacred pillar of the Catholic faith that the Pope had cherished deeply during his earthly life. He and Sister Marta prayed for the unity of all Christians, beseeching God to open the hearts and minds of believers everywhere to the profound importance of defending and preserving this core aspect of the faith. For Pope John Paul Brempoin, unity among the faithful was the foundation upon which the Church could renew itself spiritually. This unity, he revealed, was essential to counter the forces that sought to divide and weaken the Church. He emphasized that, particularly in times of crisis, the Church must stand united, with all its members committed to prayer and devotion. During this sacred prayer, Sister Marta felt an intense spiritual energy coursing through her being. Her own doubts and worries seemed to melt away, replaced by a renewed sense of purpose and an unshakable faith. The experience left her feeling both empowered and uplifted, as if she had been given a clear mission. Yet, she sensed that the vision held even deeper meaning. As their prayer concluded, Pope John Paul Rey's expression grew more solemn. The olive branch he held in his hand caught Sister Marta's attention. In Christian symbolism, the olive branch represents peace and reconciliation, a timeless sign of harmony. The Pope's possession of the branch suggested that his message involved a divine call for unity, healing, and renewal within the Church. With a compassionate gaze, he began to speak directly to Sister Marta, sharing insights into the current state of the Church and the challenges it faced. He explained that the Church was enduring a period of division and uncertainty, and that these challenges could only be overcome if believers directed their prayers and efforts toward preserving the sanctity of the Eucharist. This sacrament, he stressed, is the wellspring of spiritual life for Catholics, a precious gift that connects the faithful to the divine. Pope John Paul expressed deep concern for the trials the Church was undergoing, and he conveyed his hope that the faithful would rise to defend this essential aspect of their faith. As he spoke, Pope John Paul radiated an overwhelming sense of peace. Sister Marta felt as though she was witnessing something truly divine, a message not only for her, but for all believers. The Pope's appeal for prayer and unity was a call to every member of the Church. He urged them to uphold the values of their faith and to remain steadfast in their devotion to the Eucharist, especially during times of spiritual challenge. After this powerful prayer for the unity of the Church, Pope John Paul I revealed the true reason for his appearance. His first revelation concerned his own experience after death. Although he had been a figure of holiness, respected and admired by millions, even he had undergone a period of purification before entering the fullness of God's presence. He described purgatory as a realm of mercy where souls are prepared for their union with God. It is a place filled with hope, a necessary step toward eternal glory. This insight shed light on the concept of spiritual purification, both for individuals and for the Church as a whole. Just as each soul undergoes a cleansing process, so too does the Church pass through periods of hardship and transformation. The Pope explained that the Church was in the midst of its own purification, akin to the Passion of Christ, enduring trials to emerge strengthened and ready for a future renewal. The message was clear. Purification is an essential part of spiritual growth, not only for individuals, but for the Church as a collective body. The faithful must hold on to their faith firmly, especially in times of adversity. Pope John Paul I emphasized that the Church, like its members, was being refined through tribulations, and it is through this process that it gains the strength to carry on its mission of spreading the gospel. In his discourse, Pope John Paul I also addressed the need for Christians to uphold the core values of their faith: truth, charity, and justice, in a world that often deviates from these principles. He observed that the current era calls for a renewed commitment to Christ's teachings and a firm defense of truth. The Pope's words reminded Sister Marta that each believer has a vital role to play in embodying these values and, through their actions and prayers, inspiring those around them. Prayer, Pope John Paul I explained, is not merely a duty, but a source of renewal and spiritual resilience. Among all forms of prayer, he highlighted the Rosary as a powerful means of intercession. The Rosary, he said, has the capacity to bring peace, protection, and unity, especially in times of trial. He urged the faithful to remain devoted to this practice, assuring them that the Rosary possesses a unique ability to connect believers with the divine and to fortify the Church. The Pope's message resonated deeply with Sister Marta, and she felt compelled to share it with others. Pope John Paul I's words were not only meant for her, but for all who hold the faith dear. His plea for prayer and unity, his call to protect the Eucharist, and his encouragement to live out Christian values are messages that transcend individual experience, serving as a guiding light for all believers in their spiritual journey. As the vision drew to a close, Pope John Paul I left Sister Marta with a final exhortation: to continue praying unceasingly. In uncertain and difficult times, he said, prayer is the most powerful weapon that believers possess. He reiterated the importance of the Rosary, explaining that it not only brings individuals closer to God, but also strengthens their faith in moments of weakness. The Pope urged all believers to devote more time to prayer, particularly for the Church, for families, and for the preservation of Christian values in a world that often strays from these principles. Continuous prayer, he affirmed, is what keeps the flame of faith alive in every believer's heart. He also reminded Sister Marta that prayer has a profound impact not only on individual lives, but on the entire Church. Through the Rosary, believers are spiritually connected, forming an unbreakable chain of faith that has the power to transform the world. Pope John Paul I's final appeal was a call for all faithful to pray for the unity of the Church. asking God to guide and protect it against future challenges. He emphasized that prayer acts as a shield against spiritual hardships and is a source of hope. Even in times of trial, faith can be renewed through prayer. The more believers pray, the stronger they become, enabling them to face life's daily challenges with courage and resilience. Before departing, Pope John Paul I left one last message of hope: that all should remain steadfast in prayer, never losing faith or hope, especially for the Church, their families, and the strength of their faith. He encouraged everyone to unite in a daily practice of prayer, preserving the legacy of Christian faith, especially in moments of uncertainty and difficulty. As we reflect on Pope John Paul I's profound revelations, we are invited to share this message, to join in collective prayer, and to stand together as a community of faith. Each prayer, each act of devotion, strengthens the Church and brings peace to the soul. By embracing this message, we become part of a larger mission, one that connects us all in the eternal pursuit of truth, charity, and divine grace. If this message resonates with you, consider supporting the channel by liking this video and sharing it with others. Your engagement helps spread this reflection to more people who may be seeking comfort, guidance, and faith in their lives. Finally, stay tuned for our next video, where we delve into a message from Archangel Michael about the identity of the Antichrist. Join us on this journey of faith and revelation. Thank you for being part of this journey. Your presence and engagement make this exploration meaningful and impactful. Until next time, may you find inspiration and hope in the shared stories of our human experience.